Hey everyone, Henriello here. Welcome back. I'm here to provide you an update on my shingles situation that's been happening in the past week. I've missed all of you, and I hope that I can be back to reacting to movies very soon. The good news is I have seen improvements. I'm feeling a bit better. The bad news is the shingles is still there. Uh, Good news is the shingles has not spread to the rest of my face, as you can see. The bad news is it spread upwards into my hair, like soldiers running into the forest for cover, because they're all hiding there in my hair. And there's even a little bit at the back of my neck, but not very much. Most of it is, still in my hair. So, right now, I will be sharing with you the major things that have happened in the past week. In fact, it's been a terrible week because I don't know if it's because of the medication or if it's because of the shingles, but I just feel so tired most of the time. But before we begin, let me show you a picture of the day, the day I provided the update. This is how I look like. This is how the part of my face looked like on day one, which is the day I provided the video update on the shingles. And this one is day two, uh, just the next day after the update. As you can see, my eye has become very, very swollen, so I can barely open it, and it has spread a little bit more past my forehead, a little bit more on my nose over here. So it has been spreading on day two. Now, the story that I'm about to tell begins on day two because my parents have obviously noticed that something's wrong with my face. I told them that this is shingles. Now, they don't know what shingles is because they're not good at English. So I translated it into Chinese, Mandarin, and this is what it was.
带状疱疹
Unfortunately, they do not know what that is, even in Mandarin. So they asked me if I knew the disease name in Hokkien. Now, Hokkien is not really a language, it's more like a dialect. So it can't be found in Google Translate. So I had to go search, Google around and try to find any articles that could tell me what's the name of in Hokkien. In the end, I managed to find a little article about this shingles, and in Hokkien, it's called snake. Literally, it's called zua. Zua literally translates to snake. So the Chinese, us, we like to describe the shingles rash as a growing snake because most of the time, for people who develop the rash on the torso, it's like a snake that is slithering across your body. So they call it zua, snake. An old wives' tale has it that the snake head needs to be burned in order to stop it in its path, and then they need to burn the rest of the snake. When blisters affect the eye region, permanent eye damage may occur, and one should see an eye specialist. Antiviral medicines such as acyclovir, which is exactly what I have, the antiviral medication, which I have to take every 5 hours, which was pretty tough because I have to eat a meal before I take this. So I would wake up in the middle of the night, maybe have two biscuits, give it 10 minutes for the biscuit to digest a little bit, and I take the medication, give it 15 minutes for the medication to digest, and then I can go back to sleep. Because if I take the medication and I lie down right away, it might affect, the digestion of the medicine. So it was a pretty tough week. So yeah, back to the story. When I told my parents it was called snake, they insisted on bringing me to see a snake catching expert, 俩抓, which literally means catching snake, because the snake catcher would, help to treat the snake. At first, I was very skeptical because I'm gonna follow what the doctor says, right? Like I don't really believe in this kind of thing, and they say that the snake catcher will help me burn the snake and treat me. And I was very skeptical, and I said I didn't want to go. But after thinking about it, I thought if I could treat this shingles faster or be cured faster, then why not? After all, my eye is at stake, and I needed to make sure that my eye is safe. So I thought, you know what? Let's give it a try, see how it goes. Maybe it could help. And so that's what we did. We went to the snake catcher, and apparently this uncle, this guy, is very well known in his niche. Um, the skill was actually passed down by his father. His father actually lived to 102 years old before his father passed away, and the father passed down this skill onto him, and he passed down this skill onto his son. Unfortunately, his grandson, was very embarrassed about the whole thing, and he didn't want to learn the skill, so it'll probably stop with his son. They are known to be one of the last remaining experts practicing this snake catching treatment, as far as I know. So we went over to the place, and when the guy saw me, he told me that this was known as the flying snake or a soaring snake, like a snake with wings. It will just spread around everywhere. It was at this point that my dad told me that he had this snake before. That was like, I think, almost 20 years ago. I wasn't even aware. And his snake was different. His snake actually had two eyes. So it's also on his face. Uh, but the two dots, which resemble snake eyes, will keep, growing, moving, literally like a slithering snake. And it was going to move and burrow into his nose. It was right at his nostril. And he quickly went to find the expert being this expert that's treating me, this expert's father at the time, before his father passed away. So my father said that the expert burned the head of the snake that was about to go into his nose, and then started treating the rest of his face. And he was cured. His treatment went on for, I think, 5 or maybe almost a week, and then he was cured of his shingles. So my father had a different snake. I'm not sure what the name is called, but mine is called a flying snake. And that's why it's flying everywhere on my head right now. And there's no obvious snake eyes or snake head to identify. So they just gotta burn the whole thing. I have a video to show you. I didn't know that my mom took a video of the first session, but here is what he did. So as you can see here, he uses some kind of special medicinal incense. He will burn it, the incense, and then he will lightly burn my face. Please do not try this at home. When he was burning my face, it sounds to me like he was reciting some sort of mantra. He was reciting it very softly under his breath when he burned my face. Does it hurt? Yes, it does hurt. And I imagine the pain is very similar to getting burned by a cigarette. It's like, imagine if someone smokes a cigarette and then he just lightly taps it on your face. I imagine that's how it feels like. So it's like a first degree burn, but not as bad as a second degree burn. But of course, even though there's this burning pain when he does that, it can't be compared to the nerve pain, which I felt before. So it's completely like I can endure it. And after he was done, he wiped it with some kind of alcohol mixed with Chinese medicine. So he wiped the whole place, my whole face. He also told me what I must do and what I must not do, or what I must not eat. So the first thing is, every time I wash my face, I have to wash it with warm water. I must not wash it with cold water, because he says cold water will cause it to swell even more. And regarding the things that I can't eat, now that is a tough one, because he said I cannot eat anything oily. I can't. So I also can't eat butter, no peanut butter, no ice, no cold drinks. If I want to drink anything, it has to be room temperature or warm drinks. Okay, nothing cold. I can't have chicken, I can't have eggs, I can't have seafood because those are known to be toxic. I'm not sure if it's the same in the Western world, but usually after people have surgery, uh, they would also be informed to not eat seafood and stuff like that because it's toxic. So in this case, I have to avoid seafood, chicken, and eggs because they're not good for my current condition. I can't have mango. I can't have any types of nuts. So, like ground nuts, walnuts, like pecan nuts, none of that. And just now I mentioned I can't eat anything cold. So, even if I want to eat an apple, it has to be an apple that's not from the fridge. It has to be an apple that's been left outside and warmed up. If I really want something that is cooked with oil, then it must be cooked with olive oil. It must not be cooked with animal oil or uh what's that called? Sesame oil. It must be olive oil or plant-based oil. No nuts oil either. So the best option that I had was plain bread or plain white rice or porridge without oil. But he also said that I can't have anything that's cooked with chicken broth, but if it's pork, ribs broth, then it's acceptable. So the past week has been pretty tough looking for food to eat. If I just give up, I'll just eat biscuits or bread with jam. Thankfully, I can still spread strawberry jams on the bread. The burning session was not a one time session. Actually, I have to go every day to get my face burned. Surprisingly, on the first session of my burning, right after I was done, right after my turn, there were two other people waiting to get their shingles burned too. But I didn't see shingles on their face, so I think their shingles was probably on their body. The expert also has a photo album. So it's an album filled with the pictures of his previous patients who had shingles. And I saw there were many cases where the shingles were worse than mine. There was one where the guy, probably a middle aged guy, he had shingles over half of his entire face and it affected both his eyes. So I think for their cases, they waited a bit too long before they sought help. That's why the shingles got really bad and they were in very terrible condition. It's not the kind of pictures that you'll find on Google. I didn't take any pictures of the photo album because I thought it would be quite rude to do that. But the guy also shared some stories about his some of his previous patients. Like there was a person who, after he came for one session, he was very afraid of the burning pain. You know, it was too much for him. So he went to the hospital where they gave him a I don't know if it was a vaccine or what kind of shot. And then he took medication, but it got so bad that he lost his eye. He literally lost one eye to the shingles. And then he got really scared and then he came back to finish up the burning treatment and then he was okay. But he couldn't get his eye back. Some things that the experts say does clash with like what doctors advise you to do. One of the things that he said was, did I take a shot or did I take a vaccine? And I said, no, I didn't take the shingles vaccine. And he said, I shouldn't. He said that a lot of people, after they got shingles, if they take the vaccine, it makes the shingles worse. The expert has seen many cases where people who got shingles and then they take the shot, it made the shingles worse. But I've also heard other doctors say that they have shingles, take the vaccine shot, shingles got better. I think both these beliefs are correct. It just depends on how the person uh, receives the vaccine or how the person reacts to the vaccine, I suppose. Do you know how much the treatment cost? Well, it's up to you how much you want to pay. So, what he does is after every burning session, all we do is we put a money, any amount that we want, we put it in a red packet and then we just give it to him. So there's no fixed cost for his treatment. But of course, since we go every day, and we've been going every day for like 7 days, I think. So it's really not cheap, even if we give $10 or $20 each time. I did buy a bottle of alcohol medicine over here. So you can see it's alcohol. I think it might be cheap brandy mixed with some kind of Chinese medication. So it's not drinkable, but it's used to apply on the rash over here. So that's what I do every 2-3 hours. I'll just apply it on the rashes with a brush, with a paintbrush. One small bottle like that costs $25, which is considered super cheap because the shingles medication, the one that I bought from a doctor, this was over $150. It's almost $200. And in case you didn't know, all the previous clinic visits and the costs and the medicines are all paid out of my own pocket. I know some countries have free healthcare, like you can visit clinics for free, but we don't have that over here. Like everything is paid by ourselves. That time when I thought it was a pinched nerve and I went for a chiropractor, $200, and then buying this medication, $200. So I've already spent like $400 in just 3 days at a time. It could have helped me cover my food expenses for almost a month if I really save up on my meals. But it is what it is. Health is still more important. Now, back to the medicine. So, usually I pour out a little bit of this medicine onto a bowl, and then I use some hot water to just heat up the bowl a little bit because the uncle, the expert, said that it's better to heat it up so it's a bit hot when I'm applying it. I have a video of that. I took a video just to show you guys. Sorry, I know my hair looks super messy because I also have to apply it on my hair. So as you can see, this is just a demonstration. I've already applied the medicine. So all I do is just I paint the brush over all of this, and then I will also paint the brush on if I can feel it in my hair, I'll just try to paint it inside my hair. And the uncle also said that I should try to get a little bit inside my eye because it will help me to kill the snake that is in my eye. So I have to brush it a little bit on the eyelid and get a little bit inside there. And I'm telling you, it stings to have alcohol inside your eye. But anything as long as I can save my eye. So that's what I did. I just painted it on my eye. In fact, there was one time where they said the rash started moving across into this eye, so he quickly burned it. And well, after that, it was pretty much okay. Within 24 hours of the first burning session, I actually felt a little better and my eye could open a little bit more. So this is day 3, the day after my burn treatment. As you can see, there's a little bit of the burnt marks over here because he burned the biggest rash and everything. And it definitely felt better. And I could open my eye a little wider because as you can see in day 2, my eye was really swollen. But day 3, I could actually open my eye much more comfortably. And I could also move my face more freely without feeling any stretch or the pain which I felt before. Unfortunately, now I have some bald spots on my hair. Thankfully, my hair is long enough to cover it up. But the reason I have bald spots is because the shingles started spreading upwards and hiding in my scalp. Like I said just now, it's like there are soldiers hiding in the forest. And then I have to activate the napalm strikes. So basically, the expert will sift through my hair and then use that special incense to burn it. So every time he burns it, I can see my hair falling off because he's literally burning off my hair while he's burning the rash on my scalp. So yeah, if I go and if I put down my hair and try to feel around, I can definitely feel some spots where the hair is basically gone or like really, really short hair left over there. And I'll have to grow it back again. It's still worth it to get rid of the snake. Day 4, as you can see, more of it started growing out. And the expert said that it was normal because once you start applying the alcohol medication, it will push out the toxic and push out the snake. So then the snake will start, getting more serious. So the expert can just burn it all off. And so day 5, as you can see, day 4, you can see a little like pus, like little dots over here. And then day 5, most of the dots were burned off already. Day 6, still the same. Day 7 is getting a little better. And then day 8, this was today, just this morning. Right now, this is exactly how it looks like. You can see the side of my face, the biggest rash from day 1 and day 2, it's already gone because it's peeled off, it's burned off already, and it's starting to clear. So at least the face part is starting to get better. Now the worry is on the ones in the hair, which is a little bit tougher to find because I literally can't see what's happening in my hair and I can't feel it either. So, my mom can see it and she says that it's getting better. So hopefully in another few days or in another week, I hope that it'll be totally fine and I can be back to reacting to videos. Throughout the whole week, I have rarely been wearing my glasses because the rash also spread to the side of my face. So when I wear glasses, the glasses push against the rash and it feels very, very uncomfortable. So most of the time, I don't wear my glasses and I can't drive. So my parents will buy food for me every day and they drive me half an hour to the expert's place and half an hour back every day. They take care of me. And, it makes me think who else in the world, who else in this entire world would do the same for me? No one. And honestly, I don't know what I did to deserve such amazing and loving parents. And I told my parents that I was lucky to have them as my parents and take so good care of me. And I can't help but cry when I told them that. But do you know how they reacted? My mom cried with me and she said, "It's our duty as parents to take care of our children. Otherwise, why would we give birth to you?" And that's what my mom said. And then my dad, all he did was chuckle and then he told me to get well as soon as possible and take care of myself. He didn't shed a single tear. Typical tough guy. That's my dad. He rarely shows his emotions, and I guess I take after my mother. Anyways, it's been a week, so I have finished the medication, which I was supposed to take for a whole week. So for the remainder of the next few days, because it's getting better, I bought some oral Chinese medication from the expert. This is what it looks like. I mean, he said that instead of swallowing the tablets, it's better to open it up and then just, eat the powder or mix it with some warm water. So that's what I did because I don't really feel like swallowing these tablets. So what I did was this. So this is a tablet. It's emptied out. I just ate some of it. So you just there we go. You just open up the tablet and then I pour it into a hot water and then I just stir it up and I drink it. And how does it taste like? It tastes exactly like how you would imagine a bitter Chinese medicine would taste like. Very bitter. But it's all for the sake of recovering from this shingles and getting back to reacting to movies for everyone. So it's worth it. There is one thing that I'm quite worried about because the nerve pain seems to be gradually coming back. And it makes me wonder if it's because my nerve medication is losing its efficiency or is it because the pain is getting stronger? I'm not sure about that, but I hope that in the next few days, if we can get rid of all the shingles and hopefully the pain will just go away. Overall, I am feeling much better now, and I probably need to talk more because just talking to you guys, giving this update is really straining my voice. I guess I really haven't talked in a long while, and I have to get used to talking again. Otherwise, I might lose my voice. But yeah, overall feeling better, and I hope that in the next few days, within the next week, I'll be back. After hearing my story, I'm sure that some of you would be able to accept this type of Eastern medication treatment, and some might not accept it, but the results speak for themselves and it works for me, so it's good enough for me. If any of my friends ever get shingles, then I would definitely highly recommend this snake catching expert because he has a good track record. His father has a good track record of treating many shingles patients also, so I trust his treatment. Anyways, that's it for the update. I'm pretty sure I will be back to reacting very soon and I look forward to watching movies with all of you again. So, I will see you in the next video.